Hello, I've created this short video on how to quickly create a Pareto diagram. Pareto said that 20% of issues create 80% of the problems. So um, let's look at this chart. Over here in this left-hand column, I've got a list of issues. In the second column, labeled frequency, I've got the frequency of how often those issues occur in this particular project. In the third column, I've got relative frequency. Now, relative frequency is the frequency of each issue compared to the sum. So you'll notice in this very lower row, I've got sums. Sums up my frequency of all the issues. Cumulative frequency is all the relative frequencies summed up. And how this basically works is that your data must be sorted in descending order, meaning the largest or greatest number needs to be on top and the least or smallest number needs to be on bottom. So let's say, for example, we've got another issue here. So I'm going to insert a row and I'm going to put training. So I'll type in training and training has a frequency. We've tracked it and we've caught or actually determined that 10 times we had frequency problems out of training. So now I've got to resort these. So how to do that is I'm going to insert a row between sum and the bottom row of all my issues so that it doesn't interfere with my summation here, my formula for sum. So next I'm going to highlight those rows and I'm going to pick sort from largest to smallest. In other words, it's descending order. When it asks to expand the selection, pick yes. But you'll notice that it changed the formulas for my relative frequency and of course it's going to change for the cumulative frequency. So I've got to go back and fix that. And how to fix that? That formula is press the equal sign, and what that formula is your frequency of your largest issue divided by the sum. And then press enter. So let's see what happened with this. Okay, it's trying to divide by B10. Now here's column B and here's 10. Well, that actual cell is blank. So we need to fix that formula by making sure B10 isn't B10, but it is B9. And the same with these other ones. Somehow the formula did not update to that cell. So I need it to be B9. Same here, B9. And that one seemed to be okay. So let me go ahead and center these so they look a little better. So now your cumulative frequency is going to add up all the issues. Oh, I can delete this row at this point in time, so I'm good. After I do my sort, I can delete that row. I just need to keep my sum separate from the sort. Your cumulative frequencies add up all your relative frequencies. So, but the only one that's different is your greatest frequency issue. For that one, it's simply going to be your relative issue. So over here, I'm going to press equals, and I'm going to tell it this cell right next to it. Now here's the tricky part. The cumulative frequency for project delay issue is going to take the relative frequency of the issue before it and add it to itself. So we're going to add 45.5 and 22.7. So the formula for this is going to be equal to 22.7 plus the 45.5, and then hit enter. And that formula is going to travel through the entire project. Now if it works right, you should have 100% at the bottom. So that didn't work, so we can't just drag and drop the formula. Let's check through the rest of them. So this one is saying C5, which is miscommunication, plus D4. So D4 is actually correct too. So that should add up correctly too. So let's change this formula. It's going to be this plus this, enter. And this one is going to be this cell here plus this cell here, and press enter. And the last formula, which is the one that probably contains the error, is going to be this cell plus this cell. And if it worked right, it should add up to 100. So next, I've got to graph this. So I'm going to go to insert and just a two-dimensional bar graph. I'm going to right click on it and select data. So the data series that right now I have no data series, but I'm going to add a data series. The series name are going to be my issues, and the series data is going to be my relative frequency. And then press enter, hit OK, and add another data series. Now this data series is going to be my cumulative frequency, and the data involved is going to be this column of data. So then I'll press OK. Now I need to edit my horizontal axis, and those need to reflect my actual issues. So I'll press OK, and it should look like that. Now here's the trick to it. The blue bar graph represents my issues in descending order, and the red bars represent my cumulative frequency. But the way these graphs are shown, you need to actually add a trend line, and the type of trend line you need to add is a polynomial, and then hit OK or close. So I've got my trend line, and the other thing I need to do is right click on the bars and format the data series, and what I've got to do is erase those by making them have no fill and no border lines, and then hit close. So then I can delete this little chart here, and that's the way a Pareto diagram should look. Now you can format your y-axis too. So what I'm going to do right now, it's saying it goes up to 120%. So I'm going to change my fixed maximum from 1.2 to 1.0 and hit close. So now the Pareto diagram goes straight up to 100%. Pretty simple.